back to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. Herman Miller is a complete scam. You know what's a real scam? Comfort chairs are a complete scam. Okay, you should buy the most uncomfortable flat back wooden chair you possibly can and sit there with good posture. Herman Miller is the biggest scam that big corporate has ever shilled. $4,000 for these cushy, puffy, uncomfortable leather chairs. It's bad for your back. It's like when you have back problems, what do people do? What do people do when they have back problems? They sleep on the floor when they have a back problem. Why would you sleep on the floor when your back hurts? Maybe because that's the way God intended for you to sleep on the floor, flat back. I think it's the biggest scam ever. The problem is we bought this chair and it was expensive. It was really expensive and now I'm stuck with it. Realistically, when I'm not on stream, I don't sit in this. I sit in this like wishbone wooden $20 chair and it's the greatest thing that I know, greatest thing that I own. So big finance scams with a lot. They scam with a lot. They scam with the Whoop. They scam with the Sleep Score. They scam with the Aura Wing. They scam with the chairs. Welcome back to the stream, man. How was everyone's weekend? How was everyone's weekend? I'm actually curious today. I had a really good one. I got off stream and it was a short stream, but I thought it was a good one. Okay. On Friday. Everybody else took off stream. We don't take off stream. Every finance streamer I know, nobody streamed on Friday. We stream on Fridays. That's just like what we do. It's like in our blood. It's like you want to sharpen the blade or not. You want a limp blade or you want a hard blade? It's I want a hard blade. So we did it, of course, but it was a short one. And I went out immediately after. Like I got off stream, threw in a Zin, and immediately hit the town. I went to this bar to watch the World Cup. USA was playing Australia. I got there like halftime. Popping. Absolutely popping. Going to the first bar, too many people. We're like, let's go across the street. Across the street, popping. Across the street from that, popping. Everywhere down the block, it's like overflowing with people. For USA World Cup, I didn't even know there was a thing people cared about was USA World Cup. Overflowing. Jerseys everywhere. Like, man, electric. The streets right now are so electric. I read this post that talks about reverse FOMO in NYC. And it was talking about how historically, like in the summer, people like try to leave New York City and they go to like the Hamptons or they go to like New Jersey, Jersey Shore, like they go to like whatever. Now it's like reverse FOMO and everyone's leaving those places coming back to New York City because it's fucking electric right now. I hung out with some normal people this weekend too. It's my favorite thing right now. I have these like, I have like a lot of normal friends now and it's lit. It's made my life better. It has absolutely made my life better. So, all right, look, we have a lot to talk about today. I have like 100 topics to get into before we get to market close. And once we get to market close, it is dense is the word that I'll use. It's dense. Not the most exciting video to start with. But Evans quote tweeted it and said, trading shouldn't ruin your life, but it is consuming and difficult. The obsessed self-select. It's not just 9 to 5 you clock into. Anyone telling you can't get ring. Naturally, most of the available content is bad/misleading. Okay. The reason I had to mute some of these clips. The reason I want to start with this clip today is that there was, I don't know, man, there was some pretty like depressing, I'm not going to read the posts because they're depressing, but there was some relatively depressing crypto related like trader posts about people round tripping a lot of money. And I think the thing that I've learned the most, and I want to emphasize a little bit more on the stream as we talk about trading and the journey and we get better, is the reason it's the hardest game in the world and the highest skill required game in the world is because making it is low key the easy part and making it is really hard. Like I think making money is easier than keeping it and it is really hard to make it. Like it is really fucking difficult to make it. But then the thing that you realize after having been here for a long time and watching a lot of people making it is that keeping it is harder. Like it is actually hard. And I'm not just talking about lifestyle creep and like first class flights and things like that, like spending on luxury, but keeping it by not getting extremely greedy and spamming trade. Stop clicking. And so that's why I've been talking about this board trade thing a lot recently. And I'm trying to really emphasize it. Like I'm really trying to stop doing it because I've realized that like, man, it's like the easiest thing to do is to click a good entry. It's a lot harder to sell, and then it's a lot harder to keep it after you sell. That's the hardest part. It's like the good entry, UP&L, sell, and then keep is the hardest part of the stack. And I don't know. I keep doing this. Like I keep meeting with all of these really sick traders IRL, and the one thing in common with actually all of them is they don't lose money. And the one thing in common with the people that lose their minds in this game, this might sound really obvious, but it's they lose money. And they lose it in droves. They lose large amounts of money. Large amounts of money. It's the only difference. It sounds like yeah, no shit. But the people that make it and made it, and the people that lose it all, they both made it at one point. And so like there's only one defining factor after that. But keeping it by not getting extremely greedy and spamming trades and inability to log off and stop clicking. And so that's why I've been talking about this board trade thing a lot recently, and I'm trying to really emphasize it. Like I'm really trying to stop doing it because I've realized that like, man, it's like the easiest thing to do is to click a good entry. It's a lot harder to sell, and then it's a lot harder to keep it after you sell. That's the hardest part. It's like good entry, UP&L, sell, and then keep is the hardest part of the stack. And I don't know, I keep doing this. Like I keep meeting with all of these really sick traders IRL. And the one thing in common with actually all of them is they don't lose money. And the one thing in common with the people that lose their minds in this game, this might sound really obvious, but it's they lose money. And they lose it in droves. They lose large amounts of money. Large amounts of money. It's the only difference. It sounds like yeah, no shit. But the people that make it and made it, and the people that lose it all, they both made it at one point. And so like there's only one defining factor after that, which is their inability to keep it. And I don't think you lose it because you're a bad trader. I think you lose it because you can't stop. All right, second intro thing, and we're just gonna rip topics. My dad sent me this. I called my dad yesterday, Father's Day. My dad's the GOAT. I called him and we were talking about family and stuff like this, but then we started talking about markets because we're always just talking about markets. And he told me, he was like, dude, I have this memory of this ad that played at the top of the dot-com bubble. And I'm like, can you find it for me? And so he went on and he sent it to me. And it's Discover Brokerage. I've never heard of it. I don't know if you've ever heard of Discover Brokerage. But this ad, we can find the exact date, but it rolled at the top tick of, I believe, the dot-com bubble. And it's such a classic. And enjoy. Watch this.
You read Barron's? Oh, yeah, all the time. That's the one where they rate all the online brokers. I use Discover Brokerage. They've been Barron's top pick for like the last 3 years. You invest online? Oh, yeah, big time. Well, the last few years anyway. I'm retired now. You're retired? Oh, I don't need to do this. I just, like helping people. Vacation spot? Actually, it's a picture of my house. That's an island. Well, technically, it's a country. Weird thing about owning your own country, though. You gotta name it.
Top tick of the dot-com bubble, brother. I don't think we have it. I don't think it's gotten that bad at this stage. Although I will tell you, maybe we'll watch this at the end of the stream. The thing it's crazy about this market right now that we're in is risk assets are up only, but nobody holds risk assets. And so for us in this giga bubble, this is the thing I've actually learned the most. I wanted to start with this rant, but I couldn't really get to it. It felt a little awkward at the beginning. Is most normal people have it really bad right now. Like I think we realize we live in a bubble, but we live in a giga bubble, like a giga bubble. And so the thing that's unique about the stock market making all-time high after all-time high after all-time high is you have to question how euphoric is it, because basically everybody is turbo struggling. They really are. Most of your high school friends struggling. I think most people that age just are struggling. They really are, because it's there's really no way to out earn inflation, or not very easily. Really not very easily. I think the thing I've realized most of all too is that the thing that we're most in the bubble in right now is that the type of people that we're exposed to. This is actually the biggest gap. The type of people that we're exposed to is the biggest bubble that we live in. Because for us and people that watch the stream is like, we get Chris Camillo to come on the stream, or we get Flood to come on the stream, or we get like QWERTY to come on the stream, or we get Jeff from Hyperliquid, whatever. We get Mando to comment. Mando's in the chat daily. Flood's in the chat daily. And so we spend so much time talking to these hyper achiever, extreme outlier scenarios that it just becomes normal. Like the expectation becomes you will trade as well as Mando. That just like becomes the expectation. Like you will be as smart as Mando. That just becomes the expectation. Or like Chris Camillo is great, but like we could do the same thing. It becomes the expectation. And so anything less than that is a disappointment. Therefore, you're constantly striving and striving and striving because you've seen people that have $100 million. And it's like kind of casual. You know what I mean? Like we've interviewed people that have $100 million and it's like kind of casual. But that's not casual to anyone in the world. That's not a casual thing. People don't just like have $100 million. And so I actually think the biggest bubble that we live in is the exposure to the level of striver you can achieve. Because we talk to like the best of the best of the best, like the outlier of the outlier of the outlier all the time. And my biggest takeaway from when I leave our like internet bubble and go into the real life is that most young people are extremely risk adverse when it should be the opposite. It should be the opposite. And I think the life creep and inflation and everything getting so expensive encourages people to be risk adverse because you're like, fuck, rent is so much and like groceries are so much and like day-to-day, like life expenses are so much. I need to be careful. I need to save. I need to get like a good job. I need to like hug it really tight. But it's actually kind of paradoxical because if you do that, then you get stuck in it. And then there's like no way to strive outside of it. And so, we were thinking about this stream in Counterparty this weekend, and I actually think the biggest edge that we have as a stream is not like your ability to trade or like to click at the right time, but it's your ability to think as a striver. That is actually what it is. It's to think as a striver and to realize all of the outcomes that are available to you and like all of the different paths that are available to you. Because I don't think most people realize that, really. I don't think most people realize that. And if you don't like stumble upon crypto Twitter or stumble upon finance Twitter and you see like, bro, we call Michael Burry retarded frequently. And I'm like, he probably has like $500 million, That's not a normal casual thing. And so when I think about the stream and Counterparty and what we offer, it isn't just your ability to like click in the right time or like buy a mega church trade or like buy the right coin, but more so the ability to realize this outcome, this outlier outcome exists when most of the world does not realize it. All right, let's get into some topics. First and foremost, this was the topic of the weekend for me, was the death of luxury goods. LVMH, which is the parent company of Louis Vuitton, Dior, Fendi, Sephora, and what do they own? What does LVMH own? All right, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Fendi, Celine, Givenchy, Kenzo, Marc Jacobs, Tiffany & Co., Bulgari, Tag Heuer, I don't even know what these are, Hublot and Zenith, Sephora, Dior, Fenty, Dom Perignon, so much stuff. They own wines, they own Hennessy, they own Rimowa, they own everything. Well, LVMH is not doing so good right now. Okay, they're not doing so good. 16 consecutive quarters of deaccelerating growth. 16 consecutive quarters. Nobody's rocking with designer anymore, which I don't know if that is exactly true, but it's slowing down significantly. And so I saw all these posts about it, okay? And the most common post I saw was the new status is no symbol. And I really sat here and I've thought about this for like a day because I'm like, all right, in theory, I like the take, but I don't necessarily believe that's true. Like there's always there's always a symbol, right? You're always symboling. I want to fucking wear a $100,000 watch and drive a Ferrari still. And then I saw this as well, Peter Levels, which is LVMH operates somewhat like a private equity. Also, Chamath is like the Lord Piana ambassador, owns the Warriors, flies private everywhere. Like, I don't know that he's like the best messenger for this thesis. Okay. Peter Levels, LVMH operates somewhat like a private equity corporate raider. They acquire companies to then 10x their prices while cutting their costs 10x to make a 100x return. They did so with Rimowa, Tiffany's, Lord Piana, Loewe, I don't know what this is, Sephora, and many other companies. But it's not luxury anymore. It's just selling cheap stuff for very high prices. It works for a little, but then customers and investors start noticing what you're doing and the game's up. On the death of Louis Vuitton in particular, in like Prada, it should not be surprising to anyone that has ever walked down Canal Street on a Saturday morning. It should not be. Because if you've ever walked down Canal on a Saturday, you know that there is an infinite supply of people buying fake everything. Fake everything, bro. Fake everything. And in a lot of ways, it's the same thing that happened with sneakers. And, I had heard some takes that were like, okay, the rise of fakes will make the real more valuable, but it's just objectively not true. Because it gets so like, bro, when everyone, hot people, ugly people, mid people are walking around the street with the same bag, you don't want to wear that shit. You actually do not want to wear that shit. The one thing that Karl Marx got wrong is that having more than others is awesome. And so if everyone else has the same Louis purse, you don't want it. You just don't. That's number one. Number two, we have a company call every Sunday night. It's a long one, like a 2-hour, and we try to we just talk about markets. And we spent 45 minutes talking about Louis and the death of luxury and what replaces it. I think I have a take. So I'm sitting here thinking about it, like, all right, the new status is no symbol, and I'm listening to this. Chamath is like, well, Elon gave up all of his possessions, yada yada yada. But I'm like, all right, people still fly private. People sit courtside. I see Timothy Chalamet and dripped out chrome. Like, this is not true. There are symbols. Everybody wants status symbols. I started thinking about it, and I have a take, okay? Because clearly the designer clothes is pretty dead. What's the new symbol? You know what I think it is? The new symbol is being hot and IRL events. That's the new symbol. Okay, think about it. All of these like tech guru type of guys, they replaced the watches and the bags and the cars with Apple Watches, Whoops, Oura Rings. The new symbol, the new what's the word? The new shadowing is look at how healthy I am. 100%. Look at the rise of Erewhon and all of these boutique grocery stores. It has to be. It's look at how healthy I am. And so it's hot people. And then I think it's IRL. On Instagram, everybody's got the same purse, bags, earrings, watches, jewelry. Everyone's renting them. Everyone's buying fake ones. You can't rent courtside Knicks. You can't rent going to the World Cup. And you also can't really fake being hot. You can fake being hot. You can. You can fake being hot, but you can't fake being hot in person. Think about that. You can't fake being hot in person. And so I think the new symbol, the new RM is a Whoop. The new Tiffany wedding ring is an Oura ring. The new LV bags is like an aloe. It's like Pilates, bro. It's Pilates. I'm serious. It's Pilates. It's like having abs, bro. The new Ferrari is like having abs. Imagine you sacrifice 15 years of your life, your health, your mind, your body, your soul. You sold it all to get rich. And you finally get rich and you realize everybody's rich. And now what's in is being hot and in shape, and you're not. It's the opposite. It's crazy. Once everyone gets the thing, it's got to go the other way. And so I don't know. That's my take. I think it's looks maxing. It's not gonna get. People aren't gonna looks max less. It's looks maxing and it's IRL events. Anyways, that was an unbelievable take I just gave. Anyways, on the topic of IRL is back. I got some more propaganda for you. Okay. Toy Story 5, which I did not even know was a thing, scored the biggest opening weekend in franchise history with $160 million domestic debut. IRL is so back. People are sick of IG. They're sick of socials. They're sick of rotting. Doom scrolling era is topped, I think. I think it is topped. And the movies, man, the movies. You know why the movies? Because it's the easiest activity to do that doesn't require getting drunk. And Zoomers are pretty alcohol averse. If we're doing the health maxing shit, you have to LARP about being sober, which is fine. I don't hate that. I'm not super against being sober. It's fine. But there's not that many things to do sober because the world was set up to do things drunk. Think about it. America was set up to do activities on Friday and Saturday nights under the influence. And so there aren't that many things to do sober. I'm just being honest. There really isn't that many things to do sober. And the movies is one of them. It also takes up a lot of time. Like I said, it's like a full event. You can go with your squad and you can go out and you could do a whole afternoon at the movies and not be persuaded to think about drinking or alcohol or drugs or anything like this. CEO of AMC. It's official. Toy Story 5 had the biggest domestic opening weekend gross of any movie so far in 2026. With a media reported $160 million. Movie, no pun intended. It's the 7th different movie in the past 3 months to have domestic opening gross of $75 million, which Toy Story 5 far exceeded. Oh yeah, second method, go outside in a Brazil jersey. As for AMC in the US, we posted the highest attendance, highest ticket revenues, and highest food and beverage revenues of any weekend so far in 2026. In all, 4.8 million guests visited our theaters globally Thursday to Sunday. Thank you on the tie comment. We congratulate our friends at Disney and Pixar, as well as all the filmmakers behind Toy Story 5 for delivering their theatrical event that clearly connected with audiences. Toy Story 5 scored a dazzling 94% from critics and 95% from moviegoers on Rotten Tomatoes. And Given our close dealings with Taylor Swift over the past several years, we also want to highlight and salute Taylor Swift's #1 chart-smashing song, I Knew It. What? Which she wrote and performed for Toy Story 5. No way. Movie after movie is doing so very well in theaters, with so many major releases coming to theaters across the entire summer, and especially so in July. Led by Minions and Monsters, Moana, The Odyssey, and Spider-Man. We have every confidence to expect that our momentum will continue. Also, in movie news, director of Obsession, Curry Barker, who's the hit star, just signed a new deal. A massive 8-figure deal with Universal Pictures and Blumhouse, Atomic Monster, to write, produce, and direct a new original horror film immediately after. At the same time, Timothée Chalamet new movie is dropping. Nobody asked for this, but it's gonna fucking sell. New movie called Not Alone, a rom-com with Selena Gomez. Jayla, thank you for the gift of 19 months. Give that button, W. 19 months. We've really been at this shit. Timothée Chalamet, Selena Gomez. Movies are back. Movies are fucking back, and if you don't believe me, the chart will tell you the real story. It's crazy this has turned into one of my better trades in a while. threadguy enters spot 196, up 44%, green spot. Green, evergreen spot. This is Hockey, one of your most impressive trades. This one is playing out incredibly well. StubHub, not so well. StubHub has a lawsuit, and everyone's freaking out on the timeline because they got scammed by. I read all these posts about how StubHub scammed these people, and they're not answering TMs, and their Twitter's quiet. And we're only up 10% on StubHub, and I might let this one go. It's at 6%. We might have to let this one go at some point on our list. So that's IRL is so back. Legendary former chief of the Federal Reserve, Alan Greenspan, has passed away. F's in the chat. Rest in peace, a real one. I didn't know anything about him really, but all the posts I read talk about him like he was a legend. And he lived through more bubbles than any chairman of the Fed ever. He was the chairman when 1992 Bill Clinton is the president and bond yields are spiraling out of control and they need to figure out what to do. And so they do a surprise double hike to try to convince people to buy bonds and bring the yields down. But what actually happened was everyone got so afraid of the bond market because it was shaken up for the first time. What they didn't realize is that these hedge funds, for the first time, traded every market and had more control than the banks and then the sovereign wealth funds and all of this. They had the most control over flows in the market. And they panicked and they sold the fuck out of bonds and yields went fucking parabolic. And it like destroyed the bull market of 92 or whatever. And it was the moment in More Money Than God, for the first time, the Fed and the world realized, oh my God, these hedge funds have more money than God. And it was like a really cool, that's the first time I ever heard his name in the book, Alan Greenspan. And so there's this cool moment where Bob Lucas tweeted, so remember this 1999 speech about irrational exuberance? Markets didn't peak for another 3+ years. Maybe applicable for today's environment. And so in 1996, I guess we're like doing .com. Well, why is the market pumping in 96? Let's actually look at the chart. I guess we're doing .com. Looks pretty fucking green to me. Is this true what he just said? Doesn't seem like he really dumped the market, because he makes it sound like he dumped the market. Like markets didn't peak for another 3+ years. I guess it was this. He drew down like a lot, but it peaked shortly after. But anyways, I guess that was this candle right here where he went down. Like he dumped at 12%. Decent, but he did this is supposed to be a very famous speech where markets were like really frothy, and he calls it's a good watch. 1996. It's really quick. Irrational exuberance is the word that he coined.
But how do we know when irrational exuberance has unduly escalated asset values, which then become subject to unexpected and prolonged contractions, as they have in Japan over the past decade?
Dumped the market 15%. Can you imagine Kevin Warsh got on, start talking about irrational exuberance? Anyways, it's quick lore on him. We gotta give him the time he deserves. Quick lore on Alan Greenspan. 2008, the most powerful economist alive sat in front of Congress and admitted he had found a flaw in the model he trusted for 40 years. Alan Greenspan died today at 100. He ran the Federal Reserve for more than 18 years, the second largest run in its history. He served 4 presidents from his appointment in 1987, came in after Black Monday, until he stepped down in 2006. Wall Street called him the maestro. When he spoke, traders studied every word he said, and markets could move on a single raised eyebrow. His start was brutal. He took the chair in August 1987. 2 months later came Black Monday, October 19th, the largest one-day stock crash in history. He held the economy steady through it. Then through the Mexican peso collapse, the Russian default, the dot-com bust, and the market panic right after 9/11. From 91 to 2001, the economy grew almost without a pause, one of the largest booms on record. In 96, he gave the era its name, warning about irrational exuberance in stock prices. Then his reputation turned. For years, he argued that banks, acting in their own self-interest, would police themselves better than any regulator could. He kept interest rates low and fought tougher rules on the new financial products spreading across Wall Street. A year later, he left the Fed in 2006. The housing market cracked, and those products helped turn a slump into the worst crash since the Great Depression. This is what put him back in front of Congress in 2008 for 4 hours. Lawmakers who once cheered him on took turns asking how he had missed it. Then a congressman pressed him directly on whether his entire worldview had been wrong. Greenspan said, "I found a flaw. I don't know how significant or permanent it is, but I have been very distressed by that fact. A flaw," he explained, "in the model that defines how the world works." He said he was shocked because the evidence had looked solid for 40 years. He pushed back on parts of the blame and never fully took it back, but he said it out loud at 82 on the record. I read The Age of Turbulence a while back, and that hearing is the lens I read it through now. The book sets you down in his chair, watching the most powerful banker in the world think his way through one crisis after another. He wrote it in longhand in his bathtub. It came out in September 2007. Months before the system he had spent his life defending nearly broke. What stayed with me was the man underneath the economics. Someone who spent 4 decades certain he was right and was still willing to stand up in public and say he might not have been. Crazy. What a run. Rest in peace, Alan Greenspan. All right, moving on. Another quick crazy story before market close is, chat, before I go over this, do you know who Jared from Subway is? The crypto version. Do you know who crypto Jared from Subway is? If you're not a crypto guy, this will still be fascinating to you. All right. So Jared from Subway was the most profitable MEV sandwich bot during really the ETH run, ETH on-chain run. And so basically this is my super novice understanding of how MEV works, is it works better on a chain like ETH because it's slow. And so if you submit, say you submit a high size transaction on a coin, a small market cap coin with low liquidity, it takes, 45 seconds or whatever on ETH for it to process and submit. And so there's some amount of slippage it's going to cause, right? Like you're going to slip the price up or down, whether or not you're buying or selling. And so what MEV does is it sees your transaction in the pool to buy like 100 ETH of Pepe or whatever. It's going to move the price 0.5% or 0.3%. And an MEV basically front runs your transaction, spends a lot of money on priority gas, and captures the spread in the middle. So you get sandwiched. And it eats your slippage, basically. It gives you terrible fill, terrible execution. You lose money, you get a terrible fill because they front run you and they basically take your spread. And Jared from Subway built this hyper profitable MEV that was just eating people alive on ETH. I don't exactly know how it works. That's my retard brain understanding of it. I think it's kind of similar to payment for order flow, like the Robinhood model, where they sell your order flow to Citadel and Citadel gives you shit fills. But it's significantly smaller margin, I think. Some of these would be real. I mean, some of these you would get slipped 20%. They would eat you alive on slip, especially if you didn't know you were doing. That's my really just stupid understanding of how this works. And so I don't know how much money he made, but it was many 8 figures. It was many, I don't know what, it's got to be north of 25 mil. Never taking any risk, just eating the spread of your bad fills. Had to be north of 25 mil. I mean, he was in every transaction, just every transaction. Well, Jared from Subway got exploited for $15 million yesterday. This is, again, if you're not a crypto guy, it's still fascinating how the chain works. He got exploited. He made 40-50. Okay, he made 40-50 over a couple years. He just got exploited for $14 million. Okay, and so I'm gonna read you Quit, who's a genius developer's explanation of what happened. So Jared is what we call a sandwich bot, and the best one in the game at that. Most sandwich are set up to monitor specific pools or tokens. For example, you would only be trying to sandwich Pepe transactions or ETH transactions. You define what you want to monitor. But Jared is just about everywhere. No matter the token or number of hops, if there's an opportunity for profit, Jared will be there. So at a basic level, sandwich bots work by front running a swap with a swap of their own in the same direction, and then back running it by selling the tokens from the front run, capturing the spread. The attacker uses it to their advantage, deploying over 100 fake Uniswap V2 style pairs and fake ERC20 tokens. The pairs implemented the normal Uniswap pair interface and appeared to have deep liquidity, but the liquidity was in attacker-controlled fake wrapper tokens. The routes were engineered to give Jared's bot a small real token profit after each swap, enticing his automated profit deflection to kick in. The attacker submitted their own fake swaps, causing Jared's bot to backrun those fake pool state changes. This is out of my league, but just stay with me. To execute each fake ARB route, Jared's bot had to approve real assets, WETH, USDC, USDT. These approvals accumulated across dozens of fake tokens, but Jared's bot didn't revoke them, likely because it thought they were standard Uniswap pair contracts. So it was stuck in this sandwich, these tokens, didn't revoke them. The attacker was left with 50 live allowances against Jared's contract, 16 for WETH, 20 for USDC, 14 for USDT. About 18 minutes later, the attacker used those allowances to drain 47.59 WETH, 3.6 million USDC, 2.5 million USDT. Well played. So it basically convinced Jared bot that these were good tokens. It executed, like, lost money on purpose so it could get sandwiched in the process, and then it ripped it for an exploit. Now, Jared from Subway reached out. Jared from Subway.eth. He offered a 50% white hat bounty to the hacker. So he said, well played. We're willing to offer a 50% white hat bounty if you return the 2150 ETH to this address in the next 48 hours. Otherwise, we will pursue all available legal and law enforcement remedies. That's what he said. Give me my money back, $15 million, or I will sue you. To which MetaMask.eth replied and said, quote, ha, 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 ha. Good luck pursuing legal action after getting sandwiched once. If it would pass in court, it wouldn't. Then everyone you ever sandwiched would have grounds for a class action lawsuit against the endless sandwiches you've made. You would be supremely shafted. And even if it doesn't pass, your name will be out there and you surely wouldn't want that. You can't do shit, retard. GG, well played to the guy that got you wrecked. No crying in the kitchen. Slur that I cannot say on Twitch. He then followed up and said, send 100 ETH to NSA.eth for good luck and stop crying in the kitchen. The coolest part about the blockchain is that you can send messages, like on Etherscan, you can send messages on chain. Like imagine somebody, like, you sold a ton of Micron and they bought it and you could, like, message their Robinhood account like, hey, you fucking retard. And so they sent it directly to him on chain and called him a bad word. And so, yeah, that's what happened. And it's pretty crazy because there's actually nothing he can do, because if he were to win the lawsuit, he would be liable for because what he did was get sandwiched, basically. Not quite, but he got, like, sandwich exploited. And so he would be liable for every person he's ever exploited, which is every dollar they've ever made. And so, yeah, markets are awesome. Watching wallets is awesome. It's the coolest game in the world. I'm so grateful we get to play it. And Jared from Subway just got absolutely fucking throttled in real time. And it was nuts to see. Something, the SPX comes in down 0.37% at $7,472. Yes, that is right. A red day on the SPX. Can you believe it? As far as big events coming up, I would imagine the biggest one on the horizon is Micron earnings in 2 days are a big fucking deal, and they are ripping it into Micron earnings. Outside of that, anything that happens with the war is probably something as well. Add the NASDAQ to your list is right here. NASDAQ 100, that is up 0.5%. The Dow is up 0.3%. The Kospi after last session, that's up 0.7. Okay, Hynix leading the way. The SPY, we just went over up minus 0.36, 744. The Russell 2000, that's up 1.4. The SOX Semiconductor ETF Index, that is up 2.5%, being led. And the IGV, the worst coin of all time, has printed the SpaceX pattern, which printed the Solana pattern, which is down 2%. The Q index is down 0.36%. And the IBB, the bio, look at this thing. Look at this thing, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this fucking thing right here. The IBB. That is up 2%. And it is ready to rip out of a 204-day consolidation. Also, IBM looks sick. I did click a little. We'll see. Micron also looks sick. Stocks are so fun. What do you think of Solana? Ansem Solana long? Let's give it a look. This looks insane. Is anyone long bio? I've been getting some DMs, by the way, from some smart guys. Long bio names, long a little bit of everything. Thoughts on this? I think it looks really good. We can go over the names in it again, but it looks really, really, really good. Could not lie. All right. Moving on, cryptocurrency. Michael Saylor is back in the books. He bought one of his lowest purchases ever of Bitcoin. I think he bought $32 million at 67K. He was the top tick. I don't even know how he did that. And Bitcoin is up 2% of the day. To me, fundamentally uninvestable on BTC right now. It's just like it's looking grimmer and grimmer and grimmer. I know Tulip King is really pilling me on a short of BTC, which is scary. Hyperliquid, that is probably the best out of the coins by far. Right now, it's up 1% at 67.5, and it is hanging on, sitting in there in the pocket, looking pretty good. Bitcoin dominance is up a little. Zcash 450. We're probably just going to take this off of the macro coins list because I don't know when there is going to be anything exciting on Zcash, but it looks rough. Near, same thing. Monero, same thing. ETH, same thing. Not great. It's pretty crazy that Solana looks like this while the excitement and hype around it is so high. I think I told you last week that I'm down to flip to neutral on Sol, right? And I think that there is some level of excitement happening on Sol. Now, what I'm not sure I understand is it seems like out of nowhere, there is this massive push that everyone is trading spot equities on Solana. I'm seeing hundreds of tweets about it. Out of nowhere, everyone is shilling spot equities on Solana as the narrative. It's a good narrative through Backpack. The problem with the narrative is I don't know a single person that's trading. Chat, is anyone here, this is actually a good litmus test. Has anyone here bought a spot equity on Solana? Yes or no? Genuinely curious. Like, where is the volume coming from? 0 people, really? Not one person. Okay. That's not the most encouraging thing that I've seen. Look, I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm just saying I have yet to find it. And it makes me feel like the posts are a little bit weird. I am interested in the idea of Solana, but I think we have a long way to go, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm flat. I'm down to get pilled, but I'm not trading it. I'm uninterested in trading crypto right now. I'm uninterested. Silver, 65. Looks pretty bad. Pretty bad on silver. Gold, same thing, 42. It doesn't look good. Now, the one that I like the most is copper. Copper. I want to like it. I like to want it until it breaks it. We're going to stick to special situation rippers. So that is what that is. Oil, the thing everyone cares about the most. Crude oil down 2.14% to $74.23 a barrel. Brother, it's going to be cheaper than before the war. It's going to be cheaper than before the war. Brent oil, 77.65. That's down 3.07%. You know, not one time in my entire life did I ever know the price of oil before February 28th, 2026. There was not a single moment in my entire life where I ever knew the price for a barrel of oil. Ever. Never knew. Never knew it existed. Knew nothing about it other than filling up my gas tank. All right. Fence is crushed. Palantir has officially lost the Trump level. Now, Good Alexander did have a good take that Palantir price is akin to the Trump approval rating. Very interesting take. I never heard anyone say it like that. It's the most adjacent Trump family stock, I think, other than the actual Trump and Truth Social. I mean, what's closer to Trump than Palantir? It is officially lower than the price at which he shilled the ticker, by the way, which was April 10th, and we were at like 132 after the show. It's at 120 right now, and all of defense falls off a cliff. Look at these charts. Raytheon. Look at Lockheed. Look at this Lockheed chart, bro. Charts love symmetry. Ugly. Northrop. Ugly. Look at these charts, man. They're pretty brutal. Raced out like years of gains off a cliff. All right. What everyone's excited about. Big AI, semis, memory, hyperscalers, mags, everything in between. Biggest gainer of the day, Nokia. That is up 7%. Now, Micron also looks insane. I'm just going to say it. I called this out very early that Air Mass might go down with the greatest tweet in the history of the platform. Well, it's now up 135% since Air Mass full ported Micron publicly at all-time highs, by the way. At all-time highs. Look at, we pull it right here. Came on the stream, gave the thesis. 667 is where threadguy entered with a little. Fumbled that thing pretty fucking bad. RP Profits, thanks for the gifted. How bad did I fumble that? I came on after Air Mass and longed it and fumbled that pretty bad. But it is what it is. You trade options? No. Perps and spot, I suppose. But anyways, I actually bought Micron today on leverage. I'm up, look at my account. I'm up 10%. There is earnings in 2 days or in a day, Wednesday, which is a little bit unfortunate because I don't really want to trade earnings, but I bought on this announcement. Let's see. I'll show you exactly the tick I bought here. I bought in this announcement today on the agreement with Anthropic. It doesn't seem to be as big of a deal as I thought. So it doesn't seem to be as big of a deal as where I bought, or as when I bought, but I bought it right here at like 185 or something like this, and put some decent size on, and it looks nice. So I'm just going to sit in it for a little bit. We'll see what happens. Anyways, Intel fucking ripped up 5%. It is now definitively above the Trump P&L screenshot at 115. Bloom Energy, that's up 5. BlackBerry's up 4, the crypto Twitter stock. SanDisk is just the craziest chart of all time. That's up another 4%. SIVE, that's up 3. AOSL, the D Gill stock, is trading pretty well. AMD's up 2.5. That made it into all-time high. Dell, that was up 2.5, was up a lot more at one point. IBM, I have entered an IBM position on a quick little daily scalp trade. I bought at 256. I'll tell you when I sell. But OpenAI x IBM news 1 minute ago. Stop. I need you sending this shit, dude. Not wrong about that 1 sec. IBM, OpenAI partner for enterprise cyber defense. Nice. Nice. CEO is on at the White House talking about Trump's talking about buy IBM, and they are spamming quantum stuff. So I clicked it 256. It'll probably be a quick flip for me, but we'll see. Nice to see that. No more board trades, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done with fucking board trades. So I entered IBM. It looks sick. Tesla, it's up 1.14%. I'm very interested in this concept that Elon wants to merge. And in order to merge, he needs Tesla as cheap as possible. Look, I think the merger obviously wants to happen. I know Chamath was talking about it on the All In podcast. TB, if I can find it. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find it. I'll come back to it. But Chamath was talking about the merger. I mean, they want the merger to happen, I'm sure. The cheaper Tesla, the easier it is to go through. So we'll see. All right, biggest losers. Let's come back to SpaceX, actually. I want to spend the time on that. Apple's down 0.3. Marvell's down 1, had a tough day. NVIDIA's down 1. QCOM down 2. Meta down 2.5. It seems like they're doing everything wrong. Cloudflare was down today, literally down. And that is down 2.5%. Microsoft's down 3. We are down, since Bill Ackman filed Microsoft in his 13F as his biggest position, which he sold a ton of Google for. We're down 14% on Microsoft in a straight line. Is pretty scary. Cerebras, that's on 5. I think they have earnings on tomorrow. Cerebras earnings tomorrow will be interesting to see. It'll be their first earnings. Amazon is down 5, and we are now really off ATH. You know, I've noticed this interesting development, by the way, on the software SaaS thing, is these stock guys that are crying about software valuations sound the exact same as the meme coin guys crying about bad price action. It's like there's a whole nother world out here of things candling to all-time highs that look incredible. Why do it to yourself over and over and over and over and over again? I think it's because it's sexier to be the guy to call the bottom on Microsoft and to buy it and to rip it back to all-time highs than to buy SanDisk up 1,000%. But it's one of these, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? Like, I don't know. You can always buy the reversal. Why drive yourself nuts? Feels like the meme coin guys calling the bottom. They sound very similar. Oracle down 5. Google down 5 as well. I don't know exactly what's happening to Google. You could argue it's the dilution, but the dilution happened here. So then the other argument is the talent. They have all this left Google. All this AI talent is leaving Google. This guy, John Jumper, DeepMind data scientist and Nobel Prize winner, just left to join Anthropic. And this Noam Shazir, co-author of Attention is All You Need and co-lead of Gemini, also left for OpenAI. And so they're in a really tough spot, man. It feels like they're getting left out of the AI discussion. And Google's a monster, man. It's huge. It's so big. So we'll see what happens with Google, but not great news coming out of the Googs on back-to-back days. RoboStrategy, that is down another 5%. This thing is getting hammered. It is basically back to where Andrew Kang announced he's going to be the CEO of RoboStrategy, and it's getting hammered. Netflix is down 6. We already went over this on this Meta announcement. Firefly, space stocks are all crushed. Firefly down 7, Rocket Lab down 7, ASTS down 7, 10, Redwire down 10, SPCE 10, and then the biggest loser of the day by a mile is SpaceX. It looks terrible. It gets interesting here because you have that 175 level, which is if they are able to get price above 175, 5 out of 10 trading days before the first earnings, which is maybe July, maybe August, they unlock 10% of the supply when float is 4%. They also have like 3 more trading days to move the VWAP average of price up to figure out how much dilution they need to give Cursor to meet $60 billion? Like, how many shares is Cursor going to get? How hard are they going to get diluted? And so there's a couple tailwinds, and we're also basically back to open price on SpaceX. Who has a position here? Who has, I'm long from 180. Yeah, I mean, I traded pretty bad, man. I nailed it on the way up. I was up 100 and something percent, and I just got a little greedy. I got a little greedy and just round tripped back, broke even. I'm pretty proud of my sell. It's tough to sell a round trip at break even. I think things start to get a little bit weary when you start to look at the closer, every day that goes on, you are closer to dilution hitting the market. This is where it gets weird. And so the the trade day one was so sick. I'm pretty proud of how we did it. I'm not proud of how I handled it, but I'm proud of the fact that we did it. But it starts to get heavy. All right, some more consumer SaaS type of names. Let's go. Biggest gainer, Mara. It's funny. Bitcoin fucking miner, 4%. Caterpillar up 4. Pusa, golf club turned Donald Trump Jr. drone company. It's maybe getting actually some drone flow. DNAP, is this included in the drone show, like America thing? Text Instruments up 3. Figma up 1. And a lot of red today. Let's go down to the bottom. UHR, Rivian that's crushed. Roblox down 8. Sweetgreen down 7. Lululemon down 5. Hims down 5. Pretty gross. SoFi down 5. Strategy down 3 to looking a short. AMC, I love this trade. I'm not touching it. Spot feels really good right now to me. This AMC trade. The tailwinds on the movie stuff is crazy right now. It really is. You missed me talk about Palantir. Tailwinds on the AMC thing is crazy. Movie after movie after movie after movie after movie after movie after movie. I'm just gonna sit in it. Like I don't know. It's all spot. The only thing I trade that isn't leverage, but I put size in. One of the best trades of the last 14 days. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Long outside IRL events that don't require drinking. It's a rare pick. New Timmy movie. The Odyssey's in like 3 weeks. Toy Story, biggest open of any Toy Story ever. So it's pretty crazy. On AMC. Now there was this sick announcement of Getty Images. Look at this trade. Getty Images pumps 90% that it's tiny stock. It's worth $480 million. It's like the stock images. Announcement is, so they soar, it pumped 150% now down to like 50, fucking Bloomberg. It's more like 90% after announcing a deal with OpenAI for data. Integrated digital image libraries into Chat GPT. 3 years after it sued another AI company for alleging copyright infringement. This is a sick trade. Also, Nike looks like some of the worst price action I've seen in a long time. Nike shares there are trading low after the CEO said in an interview that the scale of issues at the company means that the turnaround is taking longer than hoped. Just doom and gloom for Nike, man. It's ugly out there. All right, StubHub. I don't know anything about StubHub other than the fact that I thought it was a good long into the IRL thesis in the World Cup, also the NBA Finals. But they got some fucking drama going on right now. So I saw this and kind of got freaked out. I'm not gonna lie. StubHub's social media account has been silenced since May 28th. It turned off comments on its most recent post, and older posts are bombarded with countless accusations of World Cup ticket scams. Only about a handful of U.S. media outlets have covered the story. Go read the comments for yourself. It's unreal. Yeah, bro. Yeah, you did send this. Low-key nice. Every comment on StubHub is like calling them out for fucking scamming, bro. It's not good. Beware, they're fraud. Horrible app. Where are my World Cup tickets? I bought them a year ago. What's going on? Look at this. Everything. Where are the World Cup tickets I bought in October? You scam people. Fraudulent scammers. Fix-it-issue scammers. Holy fuck. Every post, dude. Scammed. Holy shit. Scammed. Does anyone use StubHub? I bought tickets on StubHub. It works. Wow. Scam Hub. We may have to close the StubHub position. I might have to just close. We might have to get out of that. All right. So that's the market. That's how we close. Now we have some stuff to talk about because one of the craziest stories we did not cover is zhipu, open source Chinese AI, is on a fucking tear. Hyperliquid listed zhipu yesterday. So at 337, the books, I was trying to trade it last night, just fucking around. The books were I was slipping it up like multiple dollars on my trades. The books were super illiquid, but zhipu gets added on Hyperliquid, and it has had one of the craziest months ever. Basically what happens, right, is Anthropic Fable, which is the gate kept or the like guardrailed mythos, it's export controlled because Dario kind of asked for it. Whatever. Gets jailbroken, they can't figure out whatever. Kind of irrelevant, actually, but it's more or less the fact that it can happen. And it sets the precedent. Okay, this is the thing that can happen now. Is we can export control these models. Government can take control. Scary, scary moment. And so what everyone does is they try to figure out what's the trade, what's the trade, what's the trade. Well, the open source Chinese models seems like a pretty obvious trade. The problem is the economics behind a lot of these Chinese companies are pretty bad. But zhipu is a fascinating one because it hadn't really pumped yet. It catches a flows on in Fable export controls announcement, but then it launches GLM 5.2. which they're saying is the best model available because Fable isn't. It's better than 4.8. It's better than Codex 5.5. They're saying it's the best model available. And zhipu has basically been on this unreal tear. And I'm kind of pissed because we clocked Fable export controls. As that's you want to talk about a special situations type of moment. That is like everyone freezes. The thesis you once knew is no longer the case. Everything changes type of moment. And it was just really hard to express it because you needed to have Hong Kong supported on IBKR. You couldn't get a lot of size in. It's not in Hyperliquid. It's not in Robinhood. It's not in traditional brokerages. Like these things are kind of hard to trade. Shout out Trade XYZ. It's getting easier. But it just like wasn't a super clean long. And it's been the winner by far. Second biggest winner is Minimax, I would say. I think DNAP is long Minimax. Now, there were some crash outs. Like, people were crashing out because the trade most people made was Minimax because they were the most familiar with it. And it did not trade that well on Fable Band. I think it was like this candle. It didn't do that much, but it's starting to. It just pulled a 25%er. And off bottom tick, Minimax is up 63%. And so I think there's two tailwinds here. Number one is export control ban. Obviously, flows go to Chinese open source companies. It makes the most sense. But the second is that you cannot get exposure to OpenAI and Anthropic. And so there's like a double whammy. And so yes, you get knocked down because of these Chinese open source companies. People don't trust them that much. The economics aren't that good. But no, you can't get exposure to Anthropic, OpenAI. Everybody wants exposure to both. And so you take what you can get and you take zhipu Minimax. So zhipu is the company behind GLM 5.2. It's at a $137 billion market cap on about 100 mil of 25 revenue. That means the stock trades at roughly 1,280x sales. For the stock to trade at 50x sales, revenue needs to be 2.7 billion a year, about 26x the current revenue. Basically, economics suck. Minimax is another one. $23 billion market cap on $79 million revenue. It's 290x sales. Alibaba and Quen is about 245 billion market cap on 151 billion of revenue. 1.6, the lowest price of sales of this group, but not pure AI. Now comparing it to the US labs, OpenAI does $25 billion annualized revenue and is worth 850 bill at the last private valuation. That's 34x sales versus zhipu is 1280x. Anthropic, 50 billion annualized revenue at the reported $1 trillion valuation is 21x sales. Chinese multiples need to come down. And the US ones probably go up as revenue shifts slightly to substitutes and valuations go higher post IPO on thin floats. Chinese companies seed a ton of revenue to inference providers since people want those models but don't want to send data to China. China's model companies need to somehow show they aren't retaining data and undercut everyone on pricing if they want their API revenues to inflect. Seems hard to do culturally and socially. Another option for Chinese AI companies to own part of the US inference providers and do deals to pre-release the top models to them for a first cut of revenue, maybe. TLDR is economics suck on these Chinese companies, but they're the best option right now. Also, it makes you think a larger question of, is token cost just going to be a race to zero? If GLM 5.2 is really the second best model behind Mythos, does that not fuck Anthropic's economics? Does that not fuck OpenAI's economics? It's a really interesting discussion. Moving on, we have a couple more things we had to go through. First and foremost, war and oil. Basically a nothing burger. We have 60 days for this MOU to get signed. I don't think you're going to hear that much about war and oil in between. A bunch of headlines, both directions, whipsaws. But I don't think, the Trump admin has shown if they want oil price down, oil price will go down. I think to try to fight that at this stage is ridiculous. I'm just going to be honest. Forget the missing barrels. Forget the straight. Trump admin has shown repeatedly that if they want oil price to go down, they will make it go down. End of story. And I think you have to just take them at their word as it relates to this. And so we're going to have fuckery both directions, but I'm going to generally try to ignore it on the stream. I do have a Vance clip I want to play for my own self. And it's just him talking about negotiations. I want to play this, like, I haven't watched it yet. So I'll play it for myself, and then we're going to move on from war and oil. This guy is not going to be the president in 2028, by the way. No way.
And that leads me to the final thing that we wanted to accomplish, which is actually set up the process for the technical negotiations that will follow. Our teams working with the Iranians, the Qataris, and the Pakistanis made great progress yesterday. They will continue to work at the technical level with the teams here in Bergenstock, and then those technical negotiations are going to continue over the weeks and days to come. We wanted to set up a structure for that so that you could have proper political oversight, but obviously, as much as this place is very beautiful, I can't stay here for the next 60 days. I'm about to go back home to the United States, but the technical teams are going to be working with proper oversight to make sure
He looks better.
that we're accomplishing the objectives that matter for everybody. So those are the things that we wanted to accomplish. We came here, we did exactly that. The way that I think about it is very simple. We laid a very good foundation for a successful final deal. The final deal is the house. We set the foundation. We haven't built a house, but we've laid a successful foundation to get to a good place for the American people. I think it's important for all of us to appreciate
He's got to be taking Reddit, right? He looks, I mean, he lost like 30 pounds.
how much was done, but honestly, there is still a lot to do as we continue to make progress on the nuclear talks, on the economic talks, as we continue to demine the straits and ensure that that flow of traffic continues to pick back up. A lot of progress, but still some work to do, and we're very committed to doing exactly that.
And maybe eating healthy. You don't have to eat healthy anymore. You can just eat donuts and shoot yourself with GLP-1s. Also, last headline on this is Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasury Secretary, advised Donald Trump not to host Zelensky in the Oval Office, having called the Ukrainian president, quote, a little fucker and a special needs child, and, quote, Mr. Bean on crack, according to a new book. Who wrote that in a book? What do you mean, according to a new book? 5 7. Oh my God, he smacked Elon. Scott Bessent smacked Elon. Oh my God. Elon and Scott Bessent were involved in a volatile, expletive-laden shouting match when it was reported that Musk physically shoved Bessent, and it was hit back. Bessent denied giving Musk an infamous black eye he later displayed, claiming instead it was roughhousing with his young son. Oh my God, I forgot about this. Oh my God. That was definitely Bessent, yeah? I do remember this. All right, another topic I'm seeing all over my feed is, chat, do you know about CXL? I guess this is a new photonics bottleneck, or the new AI bottleneck, such as photonics was. I don't know what it is, to be honest. Can you? But a lot of these stocks, these CXL stocks, are going nuts. Compute Express Link is a super fast shared memory cable for AI servers. Today, CPU has its memory, GPU has its memory, storage has its memory. A lot of memory sits unused while another chip is starving. CXL lets all these devices share memory more efficient. Before CXL, every house has its own water tank. One house runs out while another has excess. With it, you make a giant neighborhood reservoir. Got it. So basically everything in this sector is going crazy right now. So Micron's involved. This Pang is involved. ALAB is involved. And then CRDO, which is actually an early... Cordy talked about this for a while. Julian Petrulis talked about this for a while. Now, it's a good point. Like, is this bad for SanDisk and these other memory companies? I don't really know. But Zephyr was on the money with this. And basically everything related to CXL is going crazy. ALAB, Parabolic. Oh my God. It's a $75 billion company. Disgusting. Marvell. Interesting. Marvell. That's one we know very well. It's crazy how much knowledge we've gained on stocks, by the way, in like a couple months. We like know all of these names. Micron, we know. Rambus, I don't know. Okay. It's 15 billion. Not bad. AMD and Intel. What about Pang? Yes, Pang. Okay, it likes Pang as well. I don't know much about Pang. Penguin Solutions. Wow. It's only worth $3.5 billion. It's the smallest one by far. I think there's like a Julian Petrulis stock, if I'm not mistaken, but Crypto Twitter really likes Pang. Been since 35. Congratulations, brother. Nice trade. CXL. It's the new thing that I'm hearing about non-stop. SpaceX we covered. It's in a tough spot, man. They're trying to deal with Reflection today, worth up to $6.3 billion. It's a Neo Cloud. I don't think it's public. I don't know much about it. 150 million per month starting July 1st, 2026, with payments totaling about 6.3 billion if the deal runs through 2029. Like, they're in a tough spot. It's an AI company, okay. SpaceX is in a tough spot. I want to trade it. I do. I do, but I'm done with these board trades, man. You got to give me a catalyst if I'm going to enter SpaceX. And maybe that's just price going up a lot is enough of a catalyst. But I need some sort of catalyst. I don't feel like I have one right now. The problem is now going to be these pending unlocks. Okay. August 26th, early release eligible begins. Also, if they can get price above 175, 5 out of 10 trading days before first earnings, another 10% unlock. February, extended unlocks begin. And then June, Elon unlocks 50% of the company. And we just unlock. And so it gets scary where basically every passing day, we're closer and closer and closer to serious unlocks for SpaceX. And it just, it makes it a weird trade, man. It makes it a weird trade. They also started offering senior unsecured notes. And so they're issuing. I don't know with SpaceX. I'm still a little bit tilted that I thought we made a sick trade. And then, I don't know, you get stuck in it, you get greedy, you do retarded shit, and then you get caught holding the bag. That's what I did. But I suppose we'll see, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a tweet this is. All right, I have two things then. Number one is, this is an unbelievable post. The White House is going really hard on quantum. I wish I understood it. Like, they announced a $2 to $3 billion fund to invest in quantum, and France announced $1 billion. Yeah, look at this. The Department of War is ensuring our warfighters have frontier quantum capabilities to dominate in degraded or denied environments. Trust the plan, patriots. American quantum dominance. Just posted 30 minutes ago. I mean, they are going really hard. I don't think the amount of people that actually understand what quantum is so low, but it does feel like they know something. I actually don't hate that take. If they are like going so hard and they're picking winners, man. They gave out grants. We've gone over this a bunch of times. They give out grants. D-Wave, IBM, INFQ, and then Quantinium's the new one. Seems like they are going really hard about quantum. And so I don't have that much to share with you on quantum, but the Trump narratives, they kind of tell you what to buy and it fucking go up. So it's one to definitely watch. They're tweeting not. Today in particular, by the way, they're spamming quantum tweets today. I don't exactly know why. All right, I have one more topic for you, like a philosophical topic. I read this good Alexander post and maybe do some thinking. So he tweets this. He says, I met up with two high school friends, parentheses, quote, you graduated first in our class and got the best education. I thought you cured cancer. I can't believe you're in crypto as a tax refugee in Puerto Rico. What a waste. To my face, might be a low TBH. And P.S. I'll enjoy watching you burn. And it's a popular discussion, right? Which is like, I've always felt it's a shame that a lot of the world's smartest people end up either in finance, collecting, or trying to get you to click on ads instead of things like cancer research. And I'm part of the problem and fell into the same trap. I have hope AI can change this in time. It's a weird discussion. Like, okay, all the smartest people in the world, all the smartest people in the world, did I miss roll call? All the smartest people in the world are like trading wheat futures or trying to convince you to stay on a TikTok reel for like 0.1 more seconds. And, you know, I used to like feel bad about it a little bit. I'm not a quant. I'm not this like math genius. I'm not a top pick for Citadel or one of these things. But I understand why, like, I felt doomer about it sometimes that the smartest people in the world, like I could go work at some, you know, maybe world changing type of thing. I don't know, some research company or something. But in a lot of ways, without the traders and the investors and the guys running the hedge funds and the analysts, you don't get the focus and the capital behind these ideas that people create that turn them into super economically positive outcomes. Like, you need the people to trade the things and to buy the assets and to participate in the market to value the companies correctly so there's incentive to be a founder. And so you might say it's Cope, but I would argue potentially the most important role in society is pricing things at their fair value. Finding the price of assets is arguably the most important job in the world. It's determining the fair market value for an idea. It's infinitely valuable because what the fuck is your idea worth if nobody can price it? It's worthless. It's like, okay, you made this world-changing thing. Nobody cares. Nobody values it. You get no money. You have no outcome. You have no incentive to do it. So, I don't know. I've coped about it a lot. I felt bad about it before. I don't feel bad about it anymore. All right, I'm going to get off. By the way, I love you guys. I'm having a lot of fun with stream. The markets are insane. Cerebus earnings tomorrow. Micron earnings in 2 days, brother. Lock the fuck in. Strap the fuck in. It's going to be a big week. Get ready. I got suits dialed up for the whole week. I love you. I appreciate you so much. And on that note, I will catch you when I catch you on ZYC. What's good, you guys? Have a great rest of the day. Love you, motherfuckers. YouTube game. See you on Twitch tomorrow. Peace.